In today's video, I'm going to be teaching you how to use VSDC 6.8, and we're going to be creating a commercial for a catering company from start to finish. For those of you who don't know, VSDC is a video editor that you can use for free without any watermarks or time limits, and the free version has everything you need to create high quality videos. They also have a pro version that's $20, and you get access to more advanced features such as more advanced transitions as well as motion tracking. Now in this video, I'm going to be covering how to use VSDC from start to finish. So we're going to be learning all of the basics, but what's different from last year's tutorial is that we're also going to be going over a few pro features such as motion tracking, as well as a lot of free features that have been added to VSDC 6.8, such as the new interfaces, grouping, template windows, new transitions, and much more. Now, if you guys want to see more videos like this, be sure to hit that like button down below. And with that being said, let's get started. So the first thing you want to do is go ahead and download VSDC, and I'll link both the free and pro versions. You can use either for this tutorial. The only difference is that you won't be able to do motion tracking, but everything else you'll be able to do in this tutorial with the free version. And I'll also link the project files and all of the timestamps down below. And so once you download VSDC, the first thing you want to do is open it. And here what you can actually see is all of the new features and the most popular features, so you can click on them to learn more about them. Now, one of the ones they're missing here are Bezier curves, which is another new feature which I think is super cool that we'll be covering at the end. But the first thing we're going to do is create our project. And so what we want to do is we want to click on blank project over here, and we're going to name it catering commercial. And we want to make sure the resolution is 1920 by 1080 and the frame rate is 30 FPS. And once we have that set, we can click on finish to create our project. So starting from left to right, on the very left side, we have the Projects Explorer, and this is where we can see all of our projects, our scenes, as well as the video clips for each scene. Now for this project, we're going to be making everything in one scene, and we're going to be using multiple clips within that scene. Now if you click to the left of the Projects tab, you'll see the template window. And this is something that's very new, and it's a part of VSDC 6.8. And here you're going to find templates for everything, including your video effects, which includes transitions and filters. You're going to be able to see all of your audio effects, text effects, and more. And it's really easy to access all of your different effects and templates and add them to your clips. So this is a super cool addition. And then once again, if we click on objects, we're going to be able to access the object tab as well. Now moving along here, we can add a bunch of different elements, including pictures, videos, different shapes, and text. Now moving along here, you can see the video preview, and right above it, we're going to be able to make quick edits, such as aligning different things or moving them up and down. Now, one thing you're going to notice is there's multiple ways to access different features in VSDC. So we can both add elements and edit them with the top ribbon as well, which I'll be covering in a few seconds. Now underneath the video preview, we also have the playback. So we can click on this I button to open the preview of our video. And of course we can play and pause our video down here. Now right underneath that, we're going to have our layers. So VSDC is layer based, and you'll be able to see your different video clips right here in your timeline. Now on the right side, we have the properties window. So when you select a clip, you'll be able to see its properties here, as well as edit them. So we'll be using this to speed up and slow down clips later on. And you can also click down here to switch from the properties window to the resources window. So once we add our resources, they'll be able to pop up over here. And this includes all of your videos, your images, and your sounds. And then finally, on the right side, at the very end, we have our basic effects window. So here we can apply basic effects to our clips, such as changing the brightness, contrast, saturation, and more. Now at the very top, we have our top ribbon, and you're going to notice there's going to be a lot of overlap with the features the top ribbon has. So first we have the project tab, where we can create new projects as well as load previous ones. The scene tab is a similar story, where we can create new scenes and load previous scenes. Now the edit tab is the exact same as the edit tab down here. So of course you can align different clips as well as change the width and height of them. The view tab will allow you to change how your actual interface looks. So if you don't want to have this resources window, for example, you can click on it and then you can choose to hide it, and you can apply that to all parts of the interface. But I like things the way they are by default, so I'm going to keep everything the way it is. The editor tab will allow you to add different objects, as well as add a lot of your effects that you saw also in the template window. Next, we have the export project tab, where we're going to be going to export our project. And then there's also this tools tab, which is super cool because VSDC also has a free screen capture and video capture tool that you can use if you want to add screen recordings. So now that we know the interface, we're going to add some clips to our project. And I've linked everything down below. And there's two ways you can add different resources. The first one is by going to the resource window, right-clicking, going to add resources, and then adding your videos, images, or sounds. But what you can also do is just highlight the clips you want to add and drag them into the resource window, and it's going to import them automatically. So we have one video clip and one sound clip. And so the first thing we're going to do is just drag the video clip to our timeline and click on Add as Video. And so this is some stock footage, and it's a compilation of multiple clips, which we're going to be editing. Now the first thing we're going to do is just quickly mute this clip because we have music we're going to be adding later. And so what you want to do to mute a clip is go to right-click, go to Audio Effects, go to Amplitude, and then we can click on Silence, and then we can click on OK. And the clip is going to be silenced. Now, whenever you add an effect to a clip in VSDC, it's going to open the clip in a new tab where you can see all of the effects, which is why we can see the silence. To go back to the main project, all you have to do is click on the scene. So we're going to go back into scene 0. And if we play our video, which we can do by going to the play button or by pressing the spacebar, we can see that the clip is now muted, which is perfect. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to actually trim this clip. And so to trim the clip, all you want to do is go to a certain point on the clip where you want to trim it. So the first place we want to go is actually go to the 42-second mark. So we're just going to type in 42 like so, and then go to it. And to split a clip, all you have to do is make sure the clip is selected. You can go into the Edit tab, you can go into the Editor tab, and then you can click on Split into Parts, and the clip is going to split. And then we can press the spacebar to let it play for 3 or 4 seconds because we just want this clip of them eating pizza. And then we can press spacebar again, and then we can press on the split parts to split the clip again. And now we have split the clip into 3 pieces, with the pizza piece being in the middle. Now we're going to have to split some other clips, and I'll show you other ways you can also do this. So now what we want to do is we want to go ahead and go to approximately the 52-second mark, which is where the second part of the clip is, of this person eating their burger. And we want to also split the clip over here. And so another way you can split a clip is just by pressing on Control K. And if you press Control K, you can see that the clip has split again. And we're going to just let this play for about 3 to 4 seconds, like so. I'm going to pause by pressing space, and then I'm going to press Control K again. And once again, the clip has split. Now I also want to get one more piece of this footage, and it's at the 1 minute and 38 second mark. So I'm just going to type that in. Just so it's precise, you can also just drag the slider to get to 138. So now we want this clip of the hot dogs, and once again, I'm just going to use the editor this time. I'm going to use the split button. Then I'm going to let the video play for about 3-4 seconds. And once it's a decent length, I'm going to pause again and split it. And then finally, we need one more clip, and it's around the 239 mark. So this time I'm just going to drag so we can get to it. And it's this video clip of the fries and the burger. So I'm just going to split again over here, press space to play the video, and we can see that burger as well. And once we have enough of that, I'm going to press space to pause, and then I'm going to press the split button one more time. And now we have everything split. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here to the layer and just drag it down so the layer is larger and we can see these split lines. And every clip that I don't want, I'm just going to click on and delete. So the beginning over here, we don't want it, so I can click and delete it. Now there's some footage in between here that we don't want, so I'm going to click and delete it. This one is also not a part of what we need, so I can delete that. Same with this and the rest of the video. And we're left with our 4 clips. Now to bring everything to the front, we can just go ahead and drag the clips like so. And this is also a good time to look over how the layers work. So you already know you can change the layer size visually by dragging over here. You can also go ahead and change the layer name by double clicking on it. So I'm going to just call this the main layer. Now, the way layers work is essentially that every video clip is a part of a layer. So it are your audio clips and your text, and you can drag clips up and down between layers like so, and whatever is on top is going to be shown on the top of the video. So if we had text on the top layer, it would be shown above the video clip, for example. Now, to actually move clips around layers, all we have to do is drag. And so what I'm actually going to do is take this footage of the completed burger and just move it to the end, and then move the other clips so that everything is in the right order. There's also a few other ways you can navigate around layers. So if you want to hide a layer, you can click on the I button over here and the entire layer is hidden. If you want to lock a layer so you can't move anything around, you just click on the lock button like so. Now you can also change the zoom of the layer. So if you have a very long video clip and you want to see all of it, you can just drag over here to change the scale of the layer view. And finally, if you want to access more edits, you can just right click on a video clip in the layer, and you can also add, your video and audio effects from here as well. So that's basically how you add clips and you use the layer editing system. Now we're going to be going over some basic editing. So we're going to learn how to modify clips, add basic edits, as well as basic effects with the window on the right side. We're also going to learn how to do group object editing, as well as reframing. And these are two features that have been updated and improved for VSDC 6.8. So you guys already know how to split clips. Now, the next thing you need to learn is how to trim clips. So for example, if we go over here and we play the actual clip, we can see this fries footage is a little short. So if we want to make a clip longer, all we have to do is first drag these two clips out. And to change the length of a clip, all you have to do is just drag it. So now it's taking another 1 second from the clip that we previously cut out and it's adding it back in. Similarly, if we want to make a clip shorter, we can drag it like so, and it's trimming the clip, and you don't have to use the split tool in this case. Next, we're going to use the basic effects window to make this clip look a lot better. So if we look at the rest of the clips in this commercial, we can see they're very colorful and they pop a lot, but this clip of the people eating pizza looks a lot more bland in comparison. So all you want to do is make sure the clip is selected, and we can apply all of the basic effects right here within the basic effect window. So all you want to do for this clip is just increase the brightness a little bit and then increase the saturation. So I'm just going to make the saturation 167. And as we can see, this clip already looks a lot better. And of course, we could also add all of these effects where they are applicable, but this looks good for the clip of the people eating pizza. Now we can also go ahead and change the speed of one of our clips. So right now, this hot dog clip is a little bit long and the actual transition seems to be a little bit slow. So I want to speed it up. And so the best way to speed it up is through reframing. And so to use reframing, all you have to do is click on the clip and we can actually edit the speed in the properties window. And for reframing, all you want to do is go to the speed. You want to open it up and here you can change the percentage of the speed. So I'm just going to make it 120%. And what's new in VSDC 6.8 is that there's also blending and optical flow as different reframing modes. So sometimes when you do simple reframing, especially when you're slowing down clips, the frames get spread out, which makes the video choppy. So if you try blending in optical flow mode, the program basically uses AI to make your slowdowns and speedups a lot more smoother. And I found that blending works really well. So I'm going to put it into blending mode, and then I'm just going to move these clips since the entire video just got shorter. And the final thing I'm going to be showing you is group object editing. So say we have a bunch of video clips and instead we wanted to make everything the same length. And this is just an example. So for example, if I wanted to make these 3 clips the same length, all I have to do is highlight all 3 of them like so, and then go into duration. And if I wanted them to be 4.5 seconds, I can just change the time in the properties window, click enter, and all clips have become the same length. Now, I don't want them to be the same length, so I don't need to use this right now, but this is a really cool feature you can use if you do need all of your video clips to be the same length. So now that we've added all of our clips and effects, the next step is to add transitions to our videos. Now to add transitions, what you have to do is find the video you're adding a transition to. So say for example, I wanted to add a transition at the end of this hot dog clip. So I select the hot dog clip and then I double click on it and it opens up the video clip in a separate tab where I can see all of the effects. So previously we silenced it, so the silence effect is here. Next, all you want to do is find the transition you want to add. So for example, say we go over here in the template window and we look for transitions, we open it up, and we want to add shattered glass. Now this is just an example, you can add any transition that you like. You want to go ahead and find the transition, and then all you have to do is just drag it to either the beginning or the end of the clip, and your shattered glass transition is going to be added like so. And then if we press the spacebar, we can see the transition has been added. We can also delete the transition by clicking on it and clicking on delete like so. And that's a really quick way to add transitions. Now, the second way you can add transitions is by going back into the main scene. And then we're going to go ahead and add fades. So to add a fade transition, all you have to do is right click on a clip, and you can also access the video effects here. Now fades are under transparency, and then we can go to fade in, and the same window over here appears. And here what we can do is we can make sure that it's selected from start of the scene, and we can click OK to add the transition, and it's added a fade to a clip. And the same tab has opened up. So if we go back into the main scene and we play the video, we can see now there's a fade at the start. Similarly, we're going to add a fade at the end, and we're going to do it by clicking on the last clip, right-clicking, going to video effects, going into transparency, then going into fade out. And then what we can do is make sure that the end of scene is selected. We click OK, and once again, the fade is added. So there's two ways you can add transitions from the actual window once you open up the actual clip. Or what you can do is just right click on the clip and add it directly from there. But either way, you'll be able to add your transitions. And now we have our fade out as well. Next, we're going to be adding our text. And there's two ways we can add text. We can go into the editor tab, go to add object, and then go into text over here. Or we can just click on the text button on the side and then click on text and then click OK. Now to create the text, all you have to do is create a text box. And as you can see, a new layer has been created on top, which is why our text is going to show. And then just type out what we want. So first we're going to make a caption that says largest variety. And this is actually going to be motion tracked later on. We're going to press Ctrl A to select all of our text. And we can use the tab over here to edit all of the characteristics. So we're going to keep it at white. We're going to change the font size to 90. And then we're going to keep the font at Babe as New. And we're just going to align it in the center like so. And then by using the select tool, we're just going to drag it down here to where the burger is. I'm also going to change the duration of the text because right now it's over the entire end of the video and I only want it over the hot dog clip. So all you have to do is go to the right over here, click and drag, and have the text be as long as the hot dog clip. Now I'm going to click on this text layer and press Ctrl C, then Ctrl V to copy and paste it. And this is going to be our second caption, which I'm going to put at the part where the person is making the burger. And I'm just going to drag this clip out to be at the end of the video. And then we're going to go ahead and edit this text. So instead of largest variety, what it's going to say is it's going to say highest quality like so. And now we have our two pieces of text added. Now for this second text, we're also going to be adding a few transitions. So all you have to do is double click on the text to open up the effects tab for that text. And then we're going to go ahead and find the transitions that we want to add. So in this case, I want to add a transition at the start. And I think one that would look good would be, let me find it. I'm going to add the paintbrush one, and I'm just going to do a random wipe. And I'm just going to drag it to the front of the clip like so. And to preview it, we can just go back and play it. So now the text will show up like so. And then we're also going to be adding a fade out for the text. And to do so, all we have to do is go back into transparency, which is up here, go to fade out and add it to the end of the clip. And then if we preview this, we can see that the text will fade out just like the video clip. And then we can go back into our main scene because our text is also added and edited. Now we're going to have some fun and add some motion tracking to our commercial. And basically we want this largest variety text to follow the burger. So this clip is rotating and our text is going to be rotating with the actual video clip as well. I'll be showing you how you can do that. Now this is a pro feature, so you can't do it if you have the free version. But if you do have the pro version, it's really easy to implement. all you have to do is first click on the video clip, which in this case is the burger and the hot dog. And once you have it selected, you want to right click on it and then click on create movement map. And then we're going to save this movement map to our computer, and it's going to open up this new tab. Now, once we have our movement map tab open, all you want to do to activate the motion tracking is first select the object you want tracked. And in this case, it's the burger. So I'm going to use this rectangle tool to select just the burger like so. And once you have it selected, you want to click on Start Analysis, and the motion tracker is going to start tracking the burger or whatever object you're using. And once that is done, you can go ahead and click on Apply Editing, and then click Yes to save, and it will be applied to your layer. So once this movement map has been created, you can also see it in your resources window over here. And to add it to our text, all we have to do is double click on our text. We then have to go into Add Object and then go over down here to Movement and then select Movement Map. And we're going to select the movement map we just created. We're going to click on OK, and the movement map has been added. Now, if we go back to the main scene and we press play, just like that, our text is actually following the burger and we have added our motion tracking. Next, we're going to be adding some music to our clip. So all you want to do is drag the audio clip that we've added at the start to our timeline, and we're going to add it to the bottom over here. And as you can see, this audio clip is really long, so the scale of the timeline has changed. We can just drag the audio like so. And we're actually going to leave a few seconds because we're adding a logo at the very end with the Bezier curves. So I'm just going to make it up to about 25 like so. And the start of this audio clip also doesn't have audio, so I'm just going to drag and crop that out as well like so. And then I'm going to move the audio clip in a little bit more. So we have it added and we have about 5 seconds of it playing after the last clip has ended. Now, to edit your audio, all you have to do is click on it. And once again, in the properties window, you can do things such as change the speed and the volume. And all we need to do is add fades to our audio. And we can add fades very easily by right-clicking on the audio and just going into audio effects and then going into amplitude, fade in. Okay. And then the fade in has been added. And we can do it once again by going back into the main scene, which is right here. Right-clicking, going into audio effects, going into amplitude and fade out. I find this is the fastest way to do it. And then click OK again, and the fade in and the fade out has been added. And so now if we go back into the main scene, we also have our audio edited and it fades in and fades out with our commercial, which is perfect. The final thing we have to do before we can export our project is add and create our logo for this company. And we're going to be doing this using the new Bezier tool. So to access this tool, all you have to do is go to Free Shapes and click on Free Shape and then click on OK and make sure Bezier curve is selected. And using Bezier curves is very simple. So these curves are used to make custom shapes like so. And you can also change the pen colors and the fill backgrounds over here in the properties. But I'm just going to undo this really quickly. Now you can also make curved shapes with the Bezier tool. You can make any shape you want. So we're going to just add our first point in the middle over here. And then we're going to add our second point underneath. But this time we're going to hold and drag to create almost a heart like so. Next, we're going to be just moving this green second vector. So first we have to zoom out by pressing Control scroll wheel so we can see the anchor point over here. Then we're going to hold Control and drag this vector point so it's parallel, or not parallel, but it's reflected horizontally from the red vector point. And then we're going to let go. And we're finally going to zoom back in by using Control scroll wheel again. And to close this shape, all you have to do is press Control and click on the first point. And as you can see, we've created this asymmetrical heart, which is going to be our logo. We're also going to just quickly add some text to this logo. So I'm just going to go ahead and create my text box, make the text color black, make the font Bauhaus, and call this company, let's make the font smaller first. I'm going to call it Love Catering. And I'm just going to center the text as well, drag it and bring it down like so. And this is the logo for our company. You want to make sure both layers are the same length. So here you can use the group object editing to make them the same length. And I'm just going to go ahead and make them both 3 seconds. That's 35. Whoops. So we're just going to make it 03 like so. And now it's 3 seconds. And I'm going to drag it to the end of the actual clip so it's in sync with the audio, like so. And finally, I'm just going to add a fade out to the text and the shape as well. So we already know the drill. Go into video effects, transparency, like so. Go to fade out. Okay. Go back to the main scene. Do the same thing for the text. Click, right click, audio effects, video effects, sorry, transparency, fade out. Okay. And now we have both of our fades added. And if we go into scene 0, we can see now that the logo has been added and it's fading out like so. Now to preview everything we've created, we can go ahead and play it in the window, or we can click on the eye icon and it's going to open in a new window. And so we have our fade in, we have the first clip, which we brightened up. We have the motion tracking with the text. We then have the next clip, which is going to be the fries and the burger. We have our text coming in with the transition. We then have it switch to the person eating the burger. And finally, it's going to end with our logo, which is Love Catering, and that's going to fade out. So this looks perfect to me. To export your project, all you have to do is go to Export Project. So here we can see all of the settings for our project. So it's a 1080p 30 FPS video. If you want to change the file location, you can go ahead and click on Change Name, where you can rename it and change the location. You can also change the profile of your video, but I'm keeping it as an AVI and I'm keeping it at ultra quality. If you want to edit the profile, you can also click on Edit Profile and change all of the video settings and then click Apply Profile. But once you're ready to export your project, all you want to do is click on Export Project and your final video will be exported. But that's about it. Hopefully you guys now feel confident using VSDC. If you guys did enjoy this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. And as always, thanks for watching. My name is Ziovo and I'm signing out.